sometime this year, I think in April 2022, the president was in London, and he launched the Destination Ghana, sort of inviting people around the world to consider Ghana and come to Ghana and visit Ghana, generally. But it was also tailored towards the December in Ghana, and I want to believe that that was one of the reasons why Destination Ghana was sort of launched. And when he did that, he made it a passionate appeal to everyone around the world. And I want to read what he said. He said, "I want to invite London and Britain, obviously, because that's where he was when he made the appeal, Europe and the rest of the world, to the center of the world where longitude 0 degrees crosses latitude 0 degrees, where the bright sunshine enriches the quality of the skin and bodies of all, where music, dance, and culture not only create fun, but also excite the body, soul, and mind for spiritual growth. Indeed, I welcome you to Ghana, the center of the world, to enjoy our famed hospitality and take advantage of our favorable investment climate," unquote. And he went on further to say, quote, "Ghana is not only gifted with a rich culture, but is also the best place for doing business in West Africa, as well as the safest and most stable country in the region, with a governance system that rests on the separation of powers." Obviously, unquote. So obviously, this was the leader of our country, out there championing or advocating the reason why people need to visit our country. I'm sure, not that I'm sure, I know that Mr. Agyeman was there as well. And so, Mr. Agyeman, I want you to come back into the conversation. What are the plans that the Tourism Authority has put in place, for December? What are you looking at, for December? Of course, Afrochella will be back in December. Little Havana will be back in December. And for people like Adama who organize tours around the country to see the beautiful place of the country, what is being put in place to enable them sort of plug in and capitalize, them and other people, not just these people, but them and other people, and that are listening. Mr. Agyeman.
All right, thank you, Paul. But let me just put some context to it. I mean, what we did in 2019 was to through an open invitation to everybody within the event and the tourism space. Now look, we're coming up with a brand, the December GH brand. We know a lot of events happen already, a lot of activities happen already, but we want to consolidate and put it all together in one campaign. So if you have any idea that resonates with the concept of the return, bring it, let's endorse it, let's put it on our calendar, and let's see how we can work together to promote it. And so in 2019 we had almost 160 something event proposals. We had a steering committee that was made up of people from PAN Affairs, the Office of President Diaspora Affairs, and the rest. And there was an extensive review of these proposals because in 2019 the conversation was around the return of African diaspora back into Ghana. And so we carefully selected events that had some synergy with that whole idea of the return. Fast forward 2022, after COVID, I think the idea of Destination Ghana was also to say, look, we're not just looking for the African diaspora to come to Ghana, but globally, in Europe and other places, because when you talk about the return, it speaks more to the African American community and also second, third generation Ghanaians who are out there. But now we were out there to tell people that Ghana was now open. This was just after all the COVID restrictions had been lifted, and other countries like Dubai, South Africa, everybody was now going out aggressively to say, look, our country is open. And so we also went on that tangent with our Destination Ghana campaign. Similar to what we did in 2019, we did an invitation for event organizers to bring their events. Let's sit down, let's review, let's see where it's happening. We also did some road shows with our regional teams and other regions to make sure that, obviously a lot of these events are centered in Accra, but then we also said let's find ways to get as many events outside Accra onto the calendar. And this calendar has been growing. People are now pushing to get your events endorsed and put on the calendar because globally all tour operators, people who are selling destinations want to know what is happening in Ghana. And so being on that calendar counts for something. And then also we work with some of the event organizers in terms of marketing support, putting them on some of our billboards and some of the platforms that we have so that globally everybody sees what is happening. And so similar to what we did in 2019, the team, I think our meeting this week is headed by some very prominent Ghanaians. We have people like Professor S. Sadanagadi, Mr. Akwesi Uwabibio, Lawyer Boateng, and a few other event organizers sitting down, reviewing the proposals that have come in and how they can all be mapped out so that when we go out there, put out a calendar, which we are aiming to do on the 1st of September, but we already know some of the events that we were already endorsed and we've been working with them, like Afrochella, Little Havana, they're already on the calendar. I mean, the question is, how do we make it even bigger and better? And how do we ensure that the opportunities that come with some of these events are known to Ghanaians so that people don't say, oh, we saw a lot of people come, but we didn't really understand what was going on and we couldn't take advantage of it. It's an opportunity for everybody within the value chain of tourism, art and culture to open their eyes wide and see how they can benefit. I mean, if you take airlines who are filling their seats, hotels who are improving upon their occupancy rates, fashion, event organizers for logistics and other things, everybody needs to be ready. And I think that's really what December GH is about.
Yeah, I mean, I could see you really sort of paint a very holistic picture of the agenda and the plan. And I think that, which is why I think the sub-theme of December in Ghana for this particular spaces is opportunities for Ghanaians. Because like we see all these people come. I remember the year of return, all these events that were happening, some of it causing tremendous traffic in town. And Ghanaians are wondering like what is happening. But obviously there's a domestic economy that is sort of benefits from these things. When you have celebrities like the likes of Idris Elba, Boris Kujo, Naomi Campbell, Akon, Ludacris, Cardi B, T.I., Steve Harvey, Jedena, Conan O'Brien, and so on and so forth, all coming into your country, and spending so much, and the impact of it close to about $2 billion. The ordinary Ghanaian is wondering how can they get a piece of the $2 billion. I don't know. I know, for instance, curated experiences. Maybe you can tell us. You organize.
So I think if you look at where the money is being spent, hotel accommodation is one. Everybody who comes, from our research, almost 80% sleep in hotels or guest houses or any accommodation facility. And so if you have a guest house or a hotel, what we found out after 2019 was a lot of our little guest houses were not able to compete because a lot of them don't even have an address on the internet. They're just hoping that somebody would walk in one day, knock on the door and say, I need a room. Whereas people are booking for days, ahead before they come. I mean, if you take the airlines, they will tell you. I mean, at some point in time, in 2019, we were in conversation with some of the airlines to increase their flight frequency to Ghana. I mean, we have people flying to Nigeria to be able to make it to Ghana. People have to fly to Burkina and other places and drive through. So it was chaotic in a way. And so we started that level of engagement with the airlines board. We've engaged with a lot of the airlines to see whether, even if they are not increasing their frequency of flight, whether they could bring bigger aircrafts to get people to. I mean, we have tour operators who are having discussions around charter flights into Ghana and all that. So these are all opportunities. But if you take it to even the smallest businesses, I mean, if you take an event like Afrochella, the number of vendors that go, people who are selling eggs, people who are selling coconuts and everything. So, I mean, everybody seeks to benefit, and I think it's for us also to do more in terms of educating Ghanaians on what this represents, and that's what we've been doing, and that's why 2 weeks ago at the La Palm Beach Hotel, we had our minister highlight the fact that December and GH this year is going to be bigger and better, and everybody should take advantage of it.
Wow, that is exciting. I mean, when you mention accommodation, one of the big things that people, sort of do these days is to lease their properties. For instance, like when you go for the World Economic Forum in Davos. I mean, Davos is a small village, but people sort of leave their accommodation and then rent it out. Similarly, in Cape Town, when you go to Cape Town around December, you might not get a place to stay. Wherever you get to stay will be very expensive. So when you talk of opportunities in the accommodation sector, if, for instance, I have an apartment, one of the things I'm looking to do is probably to sign it up on Airbnb, so that people can maybe refurbish it and then put it on Airbnb and get it. That's an opportunity. That's I think one of the things that you're talking about. Curated experiences. I mean, you're in the business of organizing tours for people. When listening to Akwesi, like what do you think, or what do you have in mind?
Hi. Okay. So I think that's a big part of December in Ghana. I think sometimes Accra can get very packed with activities and events that what we like to do is take people out into like the outskirts so they can experience more of that, and that also puts some money in the pockets of local businesses over there, whether it's a little restaurants, small guest house or hotel. For example, one of the groups that I partner with heavily is Let's Talk Kwewu. They are based in Kwewu, and a lot of people notice that Kwewu is not on the map in terms of like big tourism, except for the paragliding festival. But there's so much to do in Kwewu, from waterfalls to hiking, cycling, kayaking. Like, there's just a lot to do there. So Let's Talk Kwewu, those are my guys, and basically they have a couple of homestays available that we include in our tours. There are a couple of homes there that have extra space like suites and apartments as well. There are also big hotels there, so Rock City, Telvan and other things. So it's like we put money back into the community with our trips, and a lot of times people enjoy that. They like the fact that their money or their dollar or their CD is going a long way to kind of make someone's life a bit better. You know what I mean? So that's another way to get locals to, cash in on some of that 2 million that's going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. And 2 million was from 2019, so I'm sure this year Akwesi and his team are probably anticipating twice that, or even more. But yeah, but I mean, it's exciting. Most of the things are concentrated in Accra. You're right, and then Accra gets so true. So I'm happy when Daniel and his team decided to do a little Havana, as far back as I remember the tour from 2017 2018, but they started doing it in Ibri, a little acre hotel, I think, and it was very interesting because it took it out of Accra, and that events, that happened outside of Accra. For instance, last year when the restrictions were lifted, Baba Sadiq, one of the event guys, hosted Wilderland, which is a music festival, as well, an outdoor music festival like Glastonbury and so on and so forth in the Shire Hills. And I'm sure he's also coming back to do it again this year. And then there's also Takrade, Christmas in Takrade, which is also last year was very crazy, and I saw the videos and the pictures, and you look forward to it. It reminds you of the times when we were kids, and you have all these people standing on long sticks and masqueraders and all those things. But Kwewu this year should be exciting. I have been to Kwewu this year and sometime last year, and I did a tour of some parts of Kwewu, and my mind was blown. My mind was blown. But Daniel, I'm just curious. At that time when all the events were happening in Accra, what really informed you and your team to actually host a party in Ibri After Hills?
Okay, so I'll say is the ambience, the location, up the hills, at night, driving up the hills, the view. I mean, we wanted tourism to drive up the hills and give our patrons the feel of partying outside of Accra.
Oh right, okay, that's. But I think that was a good decision because a lot was happening at Accra. You might just have gotten swallowed, but now everyone thinks and talks about Little Havana, all white party. You need to go up the hills to have fun. So what should people expect? In December from Little Havana, is there going to be something exciting? Because you haven't been able to host it for I think a couple of years, is it?
No, we didn't host in 2020. But last year we did.
Okay, so what should people expect this year?
Last year was amazing. Last year we introduced the brass band. We got our brass band to come in. They did the live music and they played in a couple of latest renditions. This year we are bringing back the brass band to play. We have international DJs coming and we have a surprise guest artist this year.
Wow.
So this year we are hoping to blow the minds of our patrons, and we hope to see you all there on the 26th of December. Expect something amazing. We did a pyramid last year. This year we're looking at doing something else for our patrons aside regular cabanas and tables this year.
So hearing this, I'm just wishing that Christmas is like next month, man. So Kenny, what about you? What should people expect from Afrochella this year? Like,
we're actually doing the whole expo. So we started on the 18th. So because we realized a lot of people they'll be coming back to Ghana every year. They're doing the same thing, different events and whatnot. And some people want to actually invest in Ghana as well too. Like they have reached out to us. So now what we're doing is we're doing the Afro Expo, which will start on the 18th. Like some things will be online and some things will be in person before the festival itself. So if like maybe somebody in Ghana has an idea but they need some capital, we'll link them with another company from outside or an individual person or an investor so they can work together because people, like we have a lot of customers who come to Ghana for the past 5 to 6 years and they always say, oh, what else can we do? So it's not, now that we have gotten the people to come here and they're having fun, now that you want to invest in the country as well too. Because that's our main goal, to connect diaspora and our people together to expand businesses and whatnot. So, but this year we're doing 2 days for the first time. Usually it was only 1 day festival, but this year we're doing 2 days, and there's going to be a lot of amazing things going to happen.
Yeah, that is very, very exciting, especially the investment part. The tourism should lead to long-term, medium to long-term investment, sustainable investment in our economy. It shouldn't be come and party and that is important too, but it shouldn't just be come and party and go away. And I think what you're saying sort of links up with what the president has been saying, that we should try and get the African diaspora to those who want to come and settle. We should make it very easy for them to settle, invest in businesses, invest in projects that are happening here. That's one of the reasons why the Homeland Bill, I think that's what it's called, is being pushed, so that African diaspora who want to come and settle and invest in Ghana can do so with so much without not too much hassle, because after all, Ghana is one of the best places to do business in Africa and the world. But that said, and we're also talking about investment. I think it was last month. There's been quite a significant amount of investment into the tourism sector. And last month there was a 10 million tourism grant that was launched, for small and medium scale enterprises, SMEs, who are in the tourism sector. It's really to help them sort of improve their performance, upgrade their capacities, and become players and increase revenues in tourism. Now, a significant amount, I think 60% of this $10 million, which is $6 million, which is from the World Bank as part of a $40 million whatever, is going to go to women. And I'm excited about that because women play a significant role in the hospitality sector. And so we should be able to create a lot of women entrepreneurs in the tourism sector. And well, let me not talk about it. I could see maybe you can shed some more light on this tourism grants that the government has made available. Well, not government, but World Bank has provided for government to make available to Ghanaian entrepreneurs in the tourism sector.
So I think, like you already mentioned, there is a Ghana Tourism Development Project that is currently ongoing, starting somewhere in 2018. And there are 3 levels. One is on the product improvements. And so you have a lot of public spaces and public facilities that are undergoing some improvement. Currently the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park is closed down for renovation under that project. And also there's a grant component. So the grant component has 3 categories. One for site upgrades, tourist sites that are privately owned. And so within that space, the Menchia Museum got part of the area grant, the Bisabua Museum, which was set up by legendary Kowasa, also got part of the grant. Afajan also got part of the grant, and a few other places. The Pan-African Heritage Museum, also by Professor Kodriak, also got part of the grant. Now, the second phase, which is the 10 million that has been launched, also has the same 3 categories. One looking at more like COVID relief, businesses within the space that got badly affected by COVID. And so those are people who probably are not able to pay salaries of their workers, people in the fashion industry, small businesses that can get part of the grants. Then you have the SME grants that is going to medium-sized enterprises, also within the space of tourism, arts and culture. And then you have the site upgrades as well. Since the president launched to now, the last check that I did with the grant management team, I think we've already crossed the 25,000 applications. And so there's a lot of work that has to be done. Reviewing this, then the last one was done by the GA, which is Ghana Enterprises, the agency. And this time there's a grant management team that is reviewing that to make sure that the grants goes into sectors of the industry that will benefit the country overall. And so it's exciting. The fact that you have so many people wanting to get part of the grant, some for innovations that are really going to benefit our space. And so exciting times. There are people who have also applied for support for their businesses around December. So sponsorships and other things that go into some of the things that we do. Like I indicated, sometimes we provide some level of marketing support. We have inventory of media assets that we sometimes make available to event organizers, billboards, spaces at our airports and other things. So we're doing all that with the participants. But like I indicated, about 99% of these events that we are driving home under the December in Ghana umbrella are privately organized events. And so the little that we can do to support it is what we're doing.
Wow, 25,000 applicants already.
Oh yeah, and the council, I think the portal closed last week, so I'll get an update on it from the ministry. But it's exciting. People within musicians, fashion designers, everybody wanting a piece of it. But I believe it also helps us who is doing what within the industry. And we know that in October we are hoping that we could probably get more funding with some of our development partners to make sure that there's more money pushed into the industry. For me, the idea of product development is critical. We know that we have a lot of tourism assets, facilities. Currently, even under this same World Bank project that we are backing on, if you go to, we've had upgrades at Bolu, Dr. Iladiman's hometown.
Right.
We've had upgrades at Bushegu, where there's a small village, the Kintampo Waterfalls, Busu Eco Park. All these have benefited from some support under the Ghana Tourism Development Project. But admittedly, there's more to be done because we have so many assets that can be upgraded, and so many new ideas that are coming in. And so those are always open for conversations around how can we all improve our tourism landscape, our arts landscape, our cultural landscape, issues around sanitation, which is always a big deal. The eastward wash of litter alongside along some of our beaches. How do we make sure that we can keep it clean? On an ongoing basis. Those are some of the things that sometimes keeps us awake, but that's the work that we signed up to do. And so we will continue to engage with the industry to make sure that, like you said, people will come and go. If you go to places like Cape Coast, we have diaspora who have come here, who have businesses within our industry, and more people are coming, more are looking for citizenship and all that. So it's exciting. We believe that this sort of conversations will always go to help the work that has been started, and I believe will outlive a lot of us. Thank you.
Great, Akwesi, I'll come back to you. But if there's anyone on that wants to say something, maybe you have a suggestion, you have a question, you have a comment, please feel free to request the mic, and we will pass the mic on to you. But obviously, this one, I think this species is titled Opportunities for Ghanaians, and there are a number of Ghanaians who are on here who are also interested in maybe accessing these grants. And so I'll speak for them when I say that maybe if the portal can be open maybe to the end of August, to maybe most of them may not have heard about this grant being available, but if the portal could be open to maybe the end of August to enable them sort of put in applications to take advantage of December in Ghana, that would be exciting. But
Of course, I don't know about the portal because that is not something that's it's been handled under the Tourism Authority per se. It's a bigger project, the Ghana Tourism Development Project. You have the World Bank involved, the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Tourism, and also other implementing agencies like museums, monuments, ourselves, TDC, and the rest. And so that reopening the portal might be difficult, but like I indicated, and we always engage. I mean, there are creators that we've worked with in the past. I mean, providing some support. I mean, sometimes we even give our facilities for people who are doing events. I mean, we have the stallers, the double that we've always put at the disposal of industry practitioners who want to do something. And so, yes, we can be engaged. I mean, it's not always about the grants, but there are certain things that we could do within our own ambit. So let's look at how we can support that. I mean, we'll take the feedback, we'll take it back to the appropriate context, but I think for December in GH, that's why we opened, we've asked people who have ideas to reach out to us. You can always send your proposal and engage with the Beyond the Return Secretariat, which is at the Accra Tourist Information Center, opposite Afrikiko, but also you could send it through info@beyondthereturn.com, and the team will reach out to you. We've done that a lot of the events that have been on the calendar. You mentioned Sadiq's program last year. We were there with him when he had difficulties with assessing the shy hills to how they went. We had to step in, work with the Forestry Commission. So we're always available to work with the industry players. So then reach out, go on beyondthereturn.com platform. There are tons of information on how you can get involved and how we can work together. We definitely need more events. I mean, last 2 weeks, for example, we were in Takrady with the regional minister, with Kowansa and the team, looking at the Takrady Festival, the Western Side Carnival, and that's also going to become a very huge platform. And so all these things we will take as things that we want to put on the calendar of December and make sure that indeed we have a very, very successful December this year as a catalyst for our growth going forward. Thank you.
Thank you too very much, Akwesi. I mean, it was worth a try. But what I get from what you're saying is that there will be more opportunities for Ghanaians who want to engage with the authority and engage with the Ministry for Tourism and the Development Authority and so on and so forth. The events and activities during the years, I'm going to tell you, there's one particular event that I found very interesting, the Wachi Summit. The Wachi Summit, and it came at a time where, those people were talking about this jollof wars between Accra or Ghana and Nigeria, and of course Ghana jollof is the best. It's absolutely the best without a doubt. Now, these guys then came together and decided to do a Wachi Summit. Like, everybody talks about jollof, but Wachi is the real deal. I mean, I love Wachi, so that one there's no doubt about it. And they managed to get it onto your calendar. If I'm a small business listening and I have this exciting idea, you've said that the authority is happy to engage. I'm not a little Havana, I'm not a Afrochala. How do I sort of engage with authority as a small business that I have this innovative idea? How do I engage with authority to make sure that my program, albeit very small, can be included in the program? Is there like a criteria? How can I sort of shape my innovation to fit into your program so that it can go global?
So we have a secretariat at the other test secretariat, and they handle the December conversation. So like I indicated, you could send an email to info@beyondthereturn. But also within the regions, we are represented in every region. And so our regional teams also engaged. And this year we are planning to make sure that at least every region has some cultural event. And it already happens, and they feel like, okay, we have that, maybe we do. And so we have to go through the hassle of putting it on the calendar, making sure that we've tried to engage to let people understand that it's not just be on the calendar. This calendar goes for our market to put it on international platforms so people coming together and that maybe I'm coming from Africa, but then there's also the Dama Festival, or I would go to Tagwani from the West Side Carnival, or I would go to other places, and so we will hope that most people are educated. We are hoping that by the 1st of September we'll have everything in, but like last year, we need a second opening because then people kept sending us event proposals and we kept reviewing them. The reason why we is to make sure that you don't take an idea and put it on. We need to check whether it's not somebody's idea that's going to this. Okay, because so that we don't get into some litigation, and we want to also make sure that the event organizers are people who really can organize this event. So we will have to answer a few questions. There's a form that you fill in terms of where you're going to get funding, how you're going to, in terms of health and safety, sanitation issues. So at least you know that it's not just somebody just waking up and say, well, I have this idea, but it's ways, and at least they have the muscle to pull it off. Where it becomes necessary for us to go in full steam in terms of partnership we've done in the past. So little events, like you said, the Watches Summit, the Jungle Fever, in some instances we have approached people who are going to do the ability. Look, can we put this on because people are asking about it? And they've always opened up. A lot of our musicians who are doing their own shows, like last year we had Samini, Stoneboy, Sarkodie, all putting their events on the calendar. So at least people know that this is happening. Media houses like City FM and go with their December to remember situation and all those things put on. So at least it gives people, you have a one-stop shop where you go and you have every information that you need about what is happening in events around Ghana. There's clearly an opportunity within the lower tier of the market in terms of people who are doing things like supplies to hotels, we call the hotels in. And so even farmers who are supplying food, distributors, the fashion space is also an interesting area because a lot of people want to work Ghana, but when they come here, we have also a campaign of See Ghana, Eat Ghana, Work Ghana going on, and so you also need to work Ghana, and so fashion designers are making a killing, but it's for good reason. That's what tourism is about. And they look at the economy, the communities within which businesses are situated get to benefit. Thank you.
Yeah, all this you're saying, like it's really, really gets me excited. I hope that there are events in Y and Bogotanga and Tamale to open up the country. Adama of Curated Experiences said this year, she's going to focus on pushing a lot of people to go to Kwewu to experience the mountain and not just paragliding. If there's anyone that has a comment, a suggestion, or question, Akwesi is here. You might not get him all the time. Mr. Germain, thank you very much. Okay, there's one request from Abraham. Abraham, if you can hear me, you can make a contribution, a suggestion, or a comment whilst we continue the conversation. But it's very interesting. Guys, if you're on and you're interested in doing something this Christmas, just make sure that you have your ducks in a line. Mr. Ajiman put out the information. You can get more information from info@beyondthereturn.com so that you can have your ducks in line. Abraham, do you have any suggestion or question?
I do. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Great stuff. So yeah, I joined very late. I'm probably sure I missed this, but just wondering, if you have any type of road shows that you can go to, city after city to promote events like this. Because I feel like you're doing something really awesome. And I'm in Charleston. This is my first time joining such a platform, and I think it's great. I would love for other people also to hear. I'm usually in the Philadelphia area. It's a lot of pictures of Ghana, but people don't really get to, ever make it to Ghana. I talk to a lot of people around, and I was thinking that for stuff like this, if you can go on a road show to promote December in Ghana and Afrochella, and I know they have the various sources of putting media or information out there, but something about body presence that always does the trick. Is this something that's within your contemplation at all?
Yeah, I mean that's a good contribution, Abraham, and I think Kwesi Agyemang and his team have been doing that, but I think there's a need now that this December in Ghana is now catching on, and we're like 4 months away from December. It's got to be aggressively done, so a lot of people become aware of it. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Right. Of course, thanks.
Yeah. All right. There's another person who's requested. Is it George? And then there's also DJ Slimming, I think. So I'll take George, then DJ Slimming. DJ Slimming. I thought DJ Slimming, you can go on then.
Okay, that's a lot of like you said, maybe DJ Slimming, thanks for this opportunity. I must say, obviously, from also from I used to work with YFM. Speaking for Kumasi, I wanted to know, listen to the events that are being lined up for December in Ghana. Some of the events that are being booked here in Kumasi, we can also look forward to, and also the opportunities for the youth over here in Kumasi if they have events lined up, some of the things that guidelines for some of the events that they can also put together, and also how they can reach you. I joined this space without quite early, but I had to make a disruption along the way, so I just want to find out from our big boss how it's going to be like for people in Kumasi, and also the opportunities that the youth over here can also grab on with respect to December in Ghana. That's what I want to know. Thanks.
Thank you, DJ Slimming. I could see if you can answer.
Well, I think just to take the first one from Abraham, I believe throughout the years we've been doing a lot of road shows. We have one coming up next month in DC. We will normally sometimes tag along what GRPC is doing in terms of road shows. Before the year of return, for example, we did an aggressive road show in the US, and so it's something that we always look at again. In terms of engaging, I believe my attention has been drawn to the fact that the actual proposals go to support at beyondthereturngh.com. So let me take that again, support at beyondthereturn gh.com, and our team will reach out once we get the proposals. I mean, for DJ Slim, Kumasi is obviously an area of interest. Last year, for example, we had people do, I think, the Royal Gala, Santini and Co were involved. So I think if there is anything that has to happen, I mean, we will be reaching out. I mean, we've already engaged with the regional administration. Like I indicated, we were in the Western region with the regional minister, Kobe, to engage with the industry, stakeholders, event organizers, the police, and everybody. And I believe we'll have a lot of people come up after that engagement. So we'll be coming to Kumasi pretty shortly to also engage with the market. But if you have any ideas, any proposal, I mean, reach out, support at beyondthereturn.gh.com. And the secretariat, which is headed by Annabelle herself, is also one of the special case studies on the return. She came to Ghana, originally an African American, but now a Ghanaian, and she runs a secretariat, and so she and the team will reach out once we get an email from you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to add to what Mr. Ajimai said, you can put together an event with some friends of yours, and the secretariat will be happy to support you. I mean, that's one of the reasons for this spaces, so that we can all sort of have a chat and know what is happening and how we can sort of take advantage of the opportunity that Ghana has become a tourism destination, especially in December. So all parts of Ghana should be activated to participate in this December in Ghana. I'll go to the next person. I think that would be, I don't know how to pronounce your handle, but it's Desire Jom, I think.
It's J-Jom.
J-Jom. All right, J-Jom. Thank you for the correction.
That's okay. My question is directed to Akwesi. I think it's related to the question the gentleman asked earlier. With regards to the calendar that you mentioned, I remember last year I saw the December in Ghana calendar that was issued by tourism, and it was just one big calendar with different big events. Now, I'm aware that I think a lot of people are aware that there are many other smaller events that are going on in Ghana, that I know both the locals and the diaspora would be interested in. I don't know, the question I have is that, is there anything that's in place that's sort of like as a calendar for each region, so that it sort of breaks down the different activities, big or small, that went on in various regions at a time, instead of just having one grand calendar that highlights only the big events and sort of isolates the smaller events. That's my question.
Thank you very much. I think to summarize, it's really about how do we have a calendar that is localized as well, so that people in the local, maybe a particular region, can know that these are the events that are happening in the region. Thank you.
Michael, if I may respond, I think this is always evolving, and I thank you for the feedback. I mean, the first calendar that we did, I look back to 2019, the calendar versus what we had last year. I mean, the first one was just name of events, the beginning, and then feedback was people needed to, not just the name, but the details of what was going to happen. And so we added that. Clearly, the feedback that we are getting this time is let's add more of these events that's happening around, and so we'll do that. And that's why we've taken our time. Although we've done an official announcement of December at GH, we have not put out the calendar, but the team is working on it, coming through it, making sure that at least every region, so we'll have the regional breakdowns, and then we also have what we call the synopsis of the event, so that, I mean, if you just a little Havana, people might not understand what it is and who are the target audience, so that you don't have a grandpapa wearing all white to go to Havana. So we will more detail go to know that this is for you, this is not for you. I mean, one area that will probably appeal to people, especially in the gospel space. I mean, apart from Joyful Way, who we have been working with the last 3 years, when we pull out for events, we don't seem to have, we know a lot of gospel musicians are doing their concerts and they have their end of year programs. We are feeling that let's hear from you, let's engage so that we have something on from everybody. Everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akwesi. I'll go to the next person who requested to speak. That is Mike Truth. If you can unmute and
guys.
Yeah, we're doing great. And guys, before you speak, Mike Truth, just those who joined us later on, this Spaces is recorded, so all the information that is on here, that the information that Mr. Jemai gave, Kenny gave regarding Afrochella, Adama gave regarding curated experiences, the Kwewu experience, Little Havana, Daniel has dropped off. You know, all that information is on the recorded space, so you can listen to it again and get all the information, because guys, you gotta take advantage of the opportunity that is available, man. Yeah. Okay, Mike Truth, can you come on?
Sir, thank you guys so much for the space. My name is Mike Truth. So I'm finally going back home after like 27 years. And me and about 23 friends, I'm literally getting in. We went back to Ghana and we saw the Ankles Festival, the Tali Fest, I believe. And I mean, just out of entry, we signed up to it, but I was like, really, I don't really talk a lot about it. So I just kind of got on to see if anybody knew some, had more information about it and the roots of it and where does it fit, like all in all, like the work fancy things when it comes to in Ghana, and also after December, like it goes on in January as well. That's my question.
Okay, Mike Truth, thank you. Apis, did you get that?
Yeah, I did. I believe Takoradi has about 4 different masquerade activities that happen. And so what we have done, the reason why we were there last 2 weeks was to find a way that we can consolidate everything. So you have different organizers, for example, Sky, Power, that's their website, and they have several masqueraders, and then you have Empire doing this and all that. So at the end of the day, it all comes together. But what we have tried to do is to make it a bit more organized going forward. And so the routes and everything are going to be defined in the plan that will be shared, so you know where it starts and where it ends. I mean, people who have followed it in the past, you could get your costume made for you. And then you can participate, not just go watch, but just go there and be part of the masquerade. So that information, please look out for it from the 1st of September. We're pushing this digitally and making sure that everything is properly defined within the calendar that is coming out. And so for the small events, every event that you have, we just want to showcase everything. And so this is a free platform that we're giving to everybody. Come, let's put you on. We will hold your hands in some cases for even the bigger events. Sometimes there are issues around security, permits that they will need, and we have it in that works with the various assemblies in our stakeholder mapping. We have the police, and so for our committees we have the police operations commander also on, and so they know that this is happening here. I mean, obviously, like Cole said earlier, where you have traffic back to you will need some intervention from the NTTU, and so all those commission issues happen. I mean, there are some district assemblies and municipal assemblies that will have to engage in terms of permits to even block some roads and divert routes and other things. So it's a bit of work, but we will do it, we will get it done. And I believe that's one of the feedback that we are getting on this platform. Also, partnership all the things that we'll do in December. Thank you.
Thank you, Akwasi. Very, very, very useful. There are a few more speakers. I'll take a few more speakers and then we can take final remarks from everyone. Kelvin Duke, you've been on for a bit. You can unmute your mic and let us know if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions.
Good evening. This is Kevin, and thanks for the opportunity, Elvis. I have a little suggestion regarding the event, and what I'm looking at is, if possibly you could have a session where entrepreneurs are met directly with people who are investors. They may not necessarily be like huge usual high street investors, but they may have some capital that they may want to invest in very serious little startups. So I'm not really sure if there is any session of that nature where these persons who are already doing something can be met directly with investors.
And Kevin, is this in relation to December in Ghana, or you're just talking about linking small businesses to investors generally?
So as part of the event, it is my suggestion that if there will be a brief session, it could be a social session even, where entrepreneurs or people with startups can have the opportunity to in a cocktail form, but then there will be the opportunity to discuss and exchange contacts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the way. I mean, that is, because oftentimes it becomes really too rigid and formal trying to present your case, and people don't really get it. They want to see the figures and all of that, but when that opportunity is given, it gives real entrepreneurs the opportunity to bring up their best and explain in clear terms what they are actually doing and what they can do.
Yeah, like an informal cocktail networking session sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Afrochala has that in plan. Yeah, Kenny, if you can. Kenny, you can go on. I think you had that as part of your presentation.
Oh, sorry, I'm on mic. Yeah, we actually do that as a child, but I think we need to promote it better because we have that child talk. So it's just like what Kevin is saying. So we have like small events, like maybe if it's artists or if it's entrepreneurs or if it's like different small events, about maybe like 50 to 100 people that we usually do. But I think this year that's the goal. Like we need to promote it better so that because if you do a whole week, people, we get like some small events or you can highlight the individuals. Because even we came up with something called the Rising Star Challenge, which we give the smaller artists or underground artists a chance to win, to perform at Afrochala. Things like that. So I get what Kelvin is saying 100%. I think on our end we'll do way better this year to promote the Afrochala talks.
Great, excellent. Thank you, Kenny. I can see the requests to speak are coming in. Mr. Charles Tegu, please, if you have any comments or question or suggestions.
Thank you. I just had a quick one for Mr. Ajimai. And look, we have a lot of tourism destinations across the country. One of the biggest problems is the access route to these places. So now I wanted to find out from Mr. Ajimai if there's a plan with the Ministry of Road to at least improve some of these roads that leads to this tourism destination so that to make it more easier for people who want to visit these places to have easy access to, because some of these roads are terrible and it actually deters people from going to those tourism and destinations. So I just wanted to know, as part of the December in Ghana, whether they have anything or if there's a plan between the authority and the road minister to at least make some of this road more travel for those who will be visiting these tourism attractions. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question. But I think that some of the roads are actually being done. I was last month at Safari Valley. The road was very terrible. But recently, when I tried to go there, the road is being done. And similarly, Peninsula as well. But Mr. Ajimani will be in a better position to answer the question.
All right, I think I was going to give those two examples because we get a lot of requests from sites, tourist sites, hotels, while they are last mile roads. And so what we've done is to, through our ministry, engage with the Ministry of Roads, listed some of the very, very bad roads. I mean, like for example, if you go back to Booty Falls, there is some stretch that is terrible, and we've had engagements with the assembly that as we wait for the big contracts for that road to be done, which have been promised, if there could be some grading of the road, there's some getting some stop gap measures done. But like I said, I mean, for some of the so, I mean, we've been promised that in the next budget cycle, 50 kilometers of what we will call tourism route to be handled. And so, what we are doing is to look at which are the sites that need these roads the most. But all in all, for December, what we do, like I indicated earlier, is to look at if there is a terrible situation that needs to be dealt with. Working with the assemblies, we've been able to do a few of them. Just to make sure that at least it's more travel for the time being. Obviously, there are competing needs. I mean, anytime we go to the Ministry of Roads, there are road entries that lead to farming villages, that needs to bring foodstuffs to cities and other places. So there's always a competition for which those things to be fixed. But we made the case that we promised 50 kilometers, so the ones that are more trouble at this point, I think we will map out and then see which ones are done. But we thank the Ministry of Roads too for the attention that has been paid to Kosovo and Safari Valley to go through it. I think that's also helping because that's becoming also a new tourism enclave from Embry down to going into so many other places. I think that is going to really help open up that area for the tourist sites that are there, and also new sites that people are planning to build up, cities. Thanks.
Yeah, because I mean, just to draw your attention, in Dukrum, there's this waterfall. I think in is it Asenemene or Asemene? Asenema. Yeah. Which is I think it's a beautiful tourist attraction, and the story behind it is also something that I think is worth sort of highlighting. And so the road that leads to the place will also be sort of.
But the new construction goes through that place.
Yes. I'm just saying that people will now be able to.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I can see Manchester. Yes. Okay, Posh Extreme. Before, okay, you speak, and then after that, Dr. Tete, Manchester, Big Abu can also speak.
So I wanted to ask a TM at the moment for travel guides. Are they everything in place for us? Like, are they looking at getting extra help from individual travel guides? Or is everything in place for us? Those are parts who don't have like companies. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, we get your point. Like, for instance, travel guides, like, how can you also take advantage of December in Ghana, essentially?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know whether we are currently, what we are doing is currently we are licensing the tour sites and the travel guides. I mean, because we need to regulate that space a bit more. We've had people who go online, put out tours and then when people come in, we've had several unpleasant experiences. And so what we are doing now is to license the tour guides, and so you get your ID, you're properly recognized. And in most cases, what we do is to try and partner with these travel guides and tour operators when people are coming in. So sometimes people make a request that, oh, we have this group, and then we'll tell you that these are the list of tour operators and the travel guide that you can choose from. So individually, I think you also probably need to get in touch and then get registered, and then also get featured in some of the conversations that we are having, so that people know you. I mean, sometimes we even go to the extent of helping with visa facilitation for those that are coming in, because all the tour guides that are travel with us, they get into some difficulty with the process, and then we do that. So yes, get in touch, support at beyondretailgh.com. Thank you.
Yeah. Before you jump in, speaking of travel guides, in 2017 I was in Zanzibar, and I still remember my travel guide's name, Moody. He was quite instrumental in me enjoying the place. But what I wanted to just draw Posh Extreme's attention to was that, when you're a travel guide, today, because of social media, once you've gotten your license, the experiences that you give to your clients and your customers is also very important, and you can document all of that on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, so that people can actually recommend you. So for instance, if anyone is going to Tanzania or is going to Zanzibar and they reach out to me, I tell them that you can reach out to Moody Tours. He's on Instagram, you can check his Instagram page and all of that. So Adoma, you wanted to add something to what Ms. Ajuma said?
Yeah, I was just going to chime in on her question. So, I work with other tour guides, other travel guides, and collaborate with them a lot because, Ghana is so big that you can't know every corner. So it's good for other tour guides to collaborate and, share experiences and add to each other's experience. So, for example, I have some things coming up this December for Western, the West Side, so Central region, Western region. I have some things that I'm working on for Volta, which will all be coming out on social media next month. But there are ways where you can tie in your experience. So if you feel like you can add to that, you can feel free to reach out to other tour operators. You can feel free to reach out to me and say, okay, this is what I do. How can I help? That kind of thing.
All right, thank you, Adoma. We're about to hit 9:30. We've gone 30 minutes above our time, but the conversation is so exciting that I would just crave the indulgence of my speakers. If you can give us maybe 15 minutes more, we'll try and wrap up. There's so much that people want to know about December in Ghana. We also have here Prince David Osei. If you would like to speak, I would invite you to speak. But in the meantime, Manchapo, please. What's up?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I was in this from the beginning, but I think what I wanted to talk about, Charles has talked about. I just want to. So Charles talked about roads, access roads to tourist sites. Now I want to talk about traffic within Accra. I don't know if it's been talked about already, but during December we know that there's a lot of traffic in Accra. Now Accra is a very big country, so we all work within the central business district, and then people move out of Accra to Adenta and so on, whatever. Now during Christmas, there's something very simple that we can do. In fact, it's something we can do every day. But I just want to tell Mr. Fajiman to probably speak with the it needs a collaboration between the Department of Urban Roads and the Ministry of Transport. Now, this is what they can do. When you look at the route from Adenta to Accra, it's a dual carriage on both sides. There are the dual carriage of sometimes it's triple lane. What we can do in December is that we can give one lane on the other side during peak hours. So when you're coming from Adenta and it's 2 lanes, we can give the road going back to Legon to those coming to Accra. So they will get 3 lanes and give that lane to truck drivers or whoever wants to use public transport, so that there will be less traffic within Accra. Now we can do that. Again, in the evening, we give the other lane 1 more lane so that traffic can flow. Now this can only be done if we collaborate with the Department of Urban Roads and the Ministry of Transport. The other thing we can do is that we can create carports within Accra. So people coming to a program like Africella, they don't need to drive all the way there. The organizers can have minibuses. So we can have a carport in Lagos. People coming from Adenta, whoever, it's Lagos. Park your car there, join the bus, go to the program, go back and take your car and go home. That is going to be very, very easy. So I think these are some of the things you can do to stop, because people complain about traffic during December, and it's a huge problem. So though we've talked about access roads, I think we should also try and see how we can create easy access within Accra during Christmas. Thank you very much.
My chair, that's a very good suggestion, and the information that you're giving is, in fact, you actually put out a business idea. These carports, it's actually a business idea, and it's something that can be looked at in such a way that some of these events organizers that have their events in Accra can partner with people that set up these carports. Maybe you can set up a carport in University of Ghana, Legon, where there's a big parking space, park cars there, and then you join the bus and go into town. And also, congratulations, on your recent wedding. Wish you the very best. Nanaya Wantia sends us congratulations also. He's standing by me. Anyway, let's move. I think there are a few more speakers, and then we can wrap this thing up really quickly. Lord Casmel, if you can unmute your mic and then let us know your comments, suggestions, or questions. Lord Casmel. Okay, Lord, if you're not gonna be on, Mr. Senna, then we'll. And then, let me see. Ben Benoni. Ben Benoni, are you there? Okay, Senna. Okay. So Senna, you go, and then Ben, we can. And then after that, Ben, you can go. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. This question is so I do have some few friends in that area wanting to come to Ghana for all these different things that I mentioned. But I also want to take trips. Do you have any plan for December coming up?
Hi, Senna, thank you. Yes, I do. So let me just list them now. So for December and January, we have the Western Tour, which includes Central Region and Western Region. We're doing 2, so one in December, one in January, and then we have 2 Kwewu trips as well for Experience Nature Adventure Organization. There's also Akosungo, which involves adventures like activity and relaxation, and then we're going to be doing different waterfalls throughout the month of December. Then for January we have Malta, and then there'll be another Central Region tour. So yeah, that's mainly it for this beyond the December and Ghana period. Yeah.
All right, excellent. TJ Lecha. Hey, sorry, Ben, Benoni, my apologies. Please.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. Mine has to do with the publicity. I also know that you have for the publicity from now till December as we mentioned on the program. Because I don't know, maybe after this phase, I don't know where small farms will get the information again. So I want to know the plans for the publicity. Thank you.
Thank you too, Ben. Mr. Ajimai can shed some more light on that. He's already mentioned some of the things that they're going to be doing. And, we will also try and continue to engage them because we think that this is something that should be, out there for Ghanaians to participate and be excited about all around Ghana. This is the first conversation, but there will be other conversations across the country, and we'll try and bring them back and ask more questions. And also, if you use our hashtags, we can also collate all the questions and stuff and put it together, and then use it as a basis to host another one. Lord Casmel, are you ready to speak? Otherwise, Mr. Ajimai can just quickly touch on what Mr. Bedoni is asking.
So, I think we are on almost all social media platforms beyond the tech, and then also we have the visitghana.com platform. So we're going to be going on digital with the plans that we have, and then also we'll have some traditional media support with some of our partners that we work with, and then also some outdoor advertising and everything that needs to happen. So look out for it. I believe the platform that Cole has given us and other platforms that are available will also be utilized, and we'll make sure that everybody hears about it. There are also going to be several stakeholder engagements within the communities, like I indicated. We just came back from Takwali, we're going to Ashanti. Our regional teams are also engaging with their regional administrations and event organizers, so at least we have everybody within the platform that will be created. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajimai. I'm going to take the last set of questions and then we will wrap it up. TJ Lecha.
Casmel here.
Casmel, let TJ Lecha go, and then after that you speak.
Very well, sir. Alright, cool. Alright. So I just want to plug my business real quick. We run a premium transfer service. We're based in Accra City Hotel. It's called Today's Logistics. We mainly work in two hotels. That is Accra City Hotel and then Independence Club. I'm available if anybody wants to use our service for December. So we do have book pickups, drop-offs. It's premium, so we have LX 570s, a few other Lexus, and Land Cruisers and anything. So if anybody's organizing any tours, one special FedEx style of the Accra Mall, that's what I recommend, and then here for the DMs. That's it.
Thanks, TJ. I think this is very useful, and this is, one of the reasons why we hosted the spaces so that people can share the opportunities that they have and how they can take advantage of the opportunity of December in Ghana. Thanks, TJ. Casmel?
Yes, well, thank you so much. Okay, now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I feel I need to bring our attention to this whilst we are about this discussion. Countless suggestions have come with regards to the necessity of extending the activities of December in Ghana beyond Accra. Abraham suggested roadshows, and aside their business overseas roadshows that has been done, they have been called for local ones. The DJ mentioned something in Kumasi, and one particular thing that has been the pride of place for Ghana is our relative stability. That has been a key driving force for the African diaspora, and it has been a huge boost for our tourism potential.
And in these current times that we found ourselves, I think that the region itself is not stable. It's only Ghana that has found some relative stability, and there needs to be conversation within that sphere with the key operators. I know that the Accra Initiative and the Operation Kodagu and some other engagements with the security setup are all to buttress this point and ensure that whoever comes into Ghana within that December, the trunk of people that come within that period to come and experience the Ghanaian hospitality can do so within an atmosphere of peace and a relative stability. I want to know from Akosi maybe if there has been some engagement with the security setup so that what we've been hearing across our borders doesn't get to affect us within this beautiful point and find out what we deliver.
Thank you, Casino. That's a very useful, point, and I would like to really highlight on that. But like you said, one of the biggest attractions of people wanting to come to Ghana is because of the safety and the stability. And so, Akwesi can shed more light on the engagement they have with the security agencies.
I think in terms of security agencies, national security police, there's always ongoing engagement. But what we've done, especially with the James, is once we finalize the lineup, we sit with them to go into details in terms of the events. I mean, obviously, most of the event organizers may not be able to bring on board the amount of security detail that they will need. But once we're able to scope it, then we make a case for police deployment. I mean, for example, if you look at what happened in Burundi this past Easter, where people that are complaining, there are too many police people there, and that's the sort of engagement that we have with the police, where we say, okay, this is happening here, these are the numbers that are expected, these are the risk factors in terms of security, traffic control and the rest. And so once the full list is done, the first point of engagement will be the security, and then we have other engagements. I mean, the airlines board have always been part of that engagement, especially with flights coming to Ghana. But another suggestion that I made in terms of dealing road shows within the communities is feedback that we've taken on board, and we'll do more to make sure that by the time we're done, everybody, even if they don't fully participate in December and GBH, will understand what it means, how it benefits the communities, and how we can make it even better than before.
All right, great. I can see I'm going to take the last sort of question suggestion from Koku.
Thank you very much. Very, very good discussions. I've learned a lot. I just wanted to mention that I did computer science, but I've gone into experience design over the past year. I'm building a new chalet after the brand Mighty Mountain. So I'm putting this out as a shameless plug. All those who want a partner has to do anything. They're available. They are now in talks with the Forestry Commission to even take a forest just close by us to do some paintballing range and all of that kind of thing in the forest area. So I mean, I've come to realize the potential of the experienced person in Ghana. I'm really, interested in partnering with those in that space to do something great. Thank you very much.
Thank you too very much, Koku, and I'm glad that you can put this out there. Definitely this conversation doesn't end here. There will be more and more spaces to talk about December in Ghana and the opportunities that are available for all Ghanaians from all walks of life. This spaces is recorded, and so if you missed it from the beginning where there was a lot of information in the first hour, you can always play it again, play it back, share it for other people to also learn about what is happening in December. Going to wrap up now. Take the final remarks from Daniel, Issa, and then Kenny, and then Adoma, and then Akwesi. Final remarks from you guys. Thank you very much for my speakers for indulging me. But the conversation was so exciting, and this has been a very great species. So Daniel.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can hear you, Daniel. Oh, you're muted again. I can hear you now.
Thank you very much for the best. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Daniel.
Great. All right. So we look forward to seeing you on the 26th of December at the Florida Hotel for the all-white 2022 edition of Havana. And we expected that this year it's going to be a boom, it's going to be a blast, it's going to be more than what happened in 2019. Indeed, Ghana is the gateway to Africa, and we look forward to seeing you from the diaspora from all walks of life. And we'll have fun. Cheers.
Thank you, Daniel. So how do we get tickets?
Tickets are originally open our ticket booths at the ANC Mall. You can walk in and buy tickets from there. And then there'll be online ticket sales as well. You can check out our Instagram handle, and there'll be more information on social media. Little Havana as well too will be coming out soon with details of how you can buy tickets online and physically from shops and from the ANC Mall and the various centers that will be.
Awesome. Kenny.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for taking time to listen to all of us. Can't wait to everybody from down in Ghana, because Ghana every day is summer. We want to welcome everybody to after 2 days to shoot for the first time. We also have a late to go to, so we have National Night Out, which is 26th early in the day. Then we have PVO, which is a New Year's Eve party as well too, and other 2 more events as well. So just look out on AfroChello.com, on our social media platforms, and also Culture Management social media as well. Thank you guys. We'll see everybody in Ghana this summer. Well, if you come early, then you'll as well.
Thank you, Kenny. And so how do we get tickets for yours for AfroChello as well?
The tickets is coming out very soon, AfroChello.com.
Alright, cheers. Thank you. Adjuma, curated experiences. Final remarks.
Yes. So follow us on Instagram at createdx_GH. Today up to date on all upcoming tours and trips with us. And we're going to be going to Western region, Central region. New Year's we're going to do the Fancy Dress Festival. We're going to do Akusumbo. And we're just going to be chasing waterfall around Ghana basically. So stay tuned and follow us on Instagram to stay up to date with that.
Alright, thank you, Adoma. So waterfall chasing. If I want to chase waterfalls, how do I get on board? Or the information will be on your social media handles?
It will be on our social media, and feel free to send us a DM. If you have any groups coming, you can have tours as well. We've mainly been doing private tours too. This December we're going to do these bigger group tours, and we're very excited for that.
Alright, thank you. Which group sang that song? Don't go chasing waterfalls. Yeah, I think TLC. Mr. Ajimai, last but not the least, very important man.
I don't know what to say but to thank you for this opportunity. It's been truly an engaging one. We've taken a lot of feedback there that we can use to improve the work that we do. And so I want to thank everybody who shared their ideas. Koku, I don't know, I cannot see him again, but it would be good if you can stay in touch with the work that you're doing in the Koku area. Adoma, Daniel, Kenny, you guys are doing great, and I believe that we can all work together to make December engage even better this year for the benefit of the entire people who are part of the value chain, airlines, hospitality, hotels, taxi drivers, ex-service coconut sellers, everybody. everybody within the space has to benefit, and I believe it starts with all of us working together and providing the support that we all need. Feedback and everything that we can put together to make sure that we do our work and do it well and the benefits of our country. So thanks, Cole and the team, and God bless everybody. Thanks.
Thank you so very much, to all the speakers. I really enjoyed these spaces. The conversation just kept going on and on and on. I've gotten some few business ideas here myself. I'll probably follow it up and see whether I can also take advantage of the opportunity. Thank you all for those who stayed with us from the beginning. Fred, Rastam, Kati, Katie Posh, Jonathan Goje, Nale Tiapa, Hamida Nuhu, Eresi, Gani. I'm so sorry I couldn't let you speak. We were trying to wrap up when your request came, but I can assure you that we'll probably have another spaces soon. But thank you all very much. It is recorded. If you missed the beginning, you can catch it, the entire spaces, right after on my handle. I'm going to pin it to the top of my handle. OT or Safe to Safo. It also streamed live on Facebook on I Am Fonana, the Facebook page, and then MPP. It also streamed live there. Thank you all so much, and catch you next week at 8 p.m. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Thank you and have a good night.